Are you David Shannon?
I am. Thank you for coming.
I got your name from a friend of mine. You see, I have this tenant, and he's not in very good shape. I don't think his family is speaking to him.
Okay, I get it. Where is he?
Not far. Just a few blocks from here.
Lead the way.
Hello? Are you home?
The emotional core of the piece was very strong. There was obviously the true story backdrop for the piece that you don't really understand through entire context until you get to the very end, which I thought worked well. And you trying to discover what he was doing, what he was doing at the apartments, and I thought that the overall pursuit of helping people who have been abandoned by people, by their family members and their friends, their loved ones during a time in which they're facing a certain death, I think is a very stark and powerful experience to put on screen. I thought the piece worked well in trying to capture that emotional dynamic without sort of feeling exploitative in terms of what people have gone through in real life in regards to this process. So I thought that the piece had a great sense of heart and a sense of compassion towards not just the subject matter, but not just the subjects in terms of the patients, but to what would compel David as a person to pursue this, and what he should say about other people's or our own sense of compassion to other human beings, given the finite nature of life for all of us.
It's a tragic yet inspirational telling of one's profession during the HIV and AIDS crisis, and not only tells David's story, but serves to show other people to perform similar acts of kindness as he did. People should be treated equal, but gay and trans are especially hit hard and murdered for being who they are. If each of us were to learn and accept who they are in the world, it'd be a much better place. Despite this subject being serious, I think the white in the kitchen and David wearing blue is a good color symbolism of purity. I like how the director made David have zero chemistry with anyone but his patients. He seemed rather abrupt and irritated with the real estate or landlord lady at the apartment complex, but soft and kind spoken to his patient. This let us dive into his character dynamic a little more.
One of the most effective, haunting, and incredible choices that the short David makes is to see the actor stare directly into camera as he is trying to plea for audiences to see him and to see this community as human. I think having that direct to camera was a really smart choice because it feels like you're engaging one-on-one with a person. And so for me, the short was really emotional, and it was also a testament to the community and to David. I think this short not only creates empathy for those who were terminally ill and had no one, but also for David. And I think, like, as I was watching this, we know that it's based on a true story. And for me, I just couldn't even imagine what that experience would be like, to be David and to feel this calling, and to feel this calling of someone who knew how important it was to not be alone during this time, and who knew that that was just so vitally important that might have triumphed whatever was going on in David's mind. And for me, when I saw that text card at the end talking about how he never talked about it and how this is all honoring him, I felt like I was witnessing a forgotten piece of history, and a history that more people to know about.
I really think they did this person justice in this film. It really showed his kind heart and his willingness to give to people who had nothing. You really could feel the love that he had for these people in this film and from this acting, how he would sit with them in their darkest, most alone moments and bring them peace, which I thought was really beautiful. This had a really powerful message about humanity, and how we are all humans. We all deserve love and peace and kindness from strangers. It really shows how David's love and kindness lives on, his legacy lives on in this film, and hopefully on with people whose lives he touched.
The landlady, you get this feeling that she's got a really bad attitude at first, and you almost feel a little upset with her. And then you discover when she's checking in on David and her tenant and says there's somebody else in need, it just lets you know that she actually cares. And even though she's doing it on the down low, she's trying to have somebody look after these people that have been abandoned by friends and family. I remember this time of the 80s AIDS crisis, and I had no idea of how many people were dying alone. So I really thought that brought new information to light, and that it was good. It was stated at the beginning it was based on the true story. And this fellow, David, was a Canadian. It shows you why end of life assistance is so important.
Very bittersweet. Bittersweet's the best word I can use to describe this. And I say it in the sense that the action is beautiful. The action is honorable. But the fact that it had to be done is heartbreaking. It's devastating. It's a very gut-wrenching concept that someone could be on the last days of their life and they die alone, abandoned by their friends, by their family, all because of who they decided to love. It's a very somber tale, but I think in today's climate where there's been a lot of polarizing views on the LGBTQ community, especially when it comes to transgenderism, trans rights. I think this film is a good reminder of the isolation that ignorance can cause.
It's quite an emotional script. It's shocking the level of ignorance and isolation that humans can accomplish. Thankfully, we have a glimpse of David Shannon's contributions to 50 Humans, and much more, I believe, with their example. They present us with moving testimonials and newspaper clippings from the 80s, also some footage and images that bring us back those decades where we had this crisis for AIDS. It is a piece of humanity in a world of indifference.